This is a 10x shot from the OPPO Find X9 Pro with a teleconverter. And this is the OPPO Find X9 Ultra, straight out of its native 10x telephoto. Let us zoom in and zoom in more. If you're a little surprised, drop a 1 in chat. In this video, we are diving into OPPO's latest Ultra, the Find X9 Ultra, to see just how they managed to cram a teleconverter right into the camera module. 好到双究, welcome to this episode. You are probably familiar with the design by now, 3 colors, brown, white, orange, officially named Polar Glacier and Velvet Canyon. Those names sound pretty cool. In this video, let us focus on the feel and some of the details. First thing to note is among the 3 colors, only the flagship Tundra Umber uses vegan leather trim. Plus, they have added a Hasselblad logo. I am guessing this color is going to be the best seller. The other 2 have simpler glass fiber / fiberglass backs, and as a result, their bodies are thinner than the 9.1mm leather one. The glass fiber / fiberglass one's 8.65mm, 1 gram lighter. If you are chasing the ultimate, go for the fiberglass. For the decal, its glass cover reveals a rounded corner regular hexagon inside. The 4 lenses are spaced out nicely with an outer ring wrapping around the entire module. Overall, it is a symmetrical design with circles and squares. Down bottom, a nice touch, a bright orange ring echoing the orange camera button on the side, creating a cohesive look. The chamfered edges where the frame meets are, as always, smooth. In terms of feel, among the Ultra flagships we have handled, this is top tier. Love this new design. Let me know in the comments. Flip to the front, a 2K 144Hz quad bezel flat screen, and the size, we are at 6.82 inches. For a pure camera flagship, the screen quality absolutely cannot slack. We measured a max manual brightness of 821 nits, with peak brightness hitting 1864 nits. With this performance, even outdoors on sunny days, the viewfinder stays clear. For peripherals, a flagship has got to go all-in X-axis linear motor, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, symmetrical dual speakers. Let us have a listen.
让我与你握别，再轻轻抽出我的手。
Okay, moving on to the main event cameras, we will not read out the specs for all 5 lenses, just pop a table up on the screen for you. Hardware-wise, the dual 200-megapixel main and the 3x telephoto, plus a large sensor ultra-wide combo easily puts it in top-tier status. But what is really worth talking about this time, after 3 years, is not just OPPO, but arguably the entire smartphone community's return to phones, this 10x optical telephoto. Before the real shots, tech-wise, let us first simulate the internal light path of this 10x periscope lens. For an ultra model, the camera bump this time around is honestly not that outrageous at all. First, light passes through the fixed G1 lens group and the focusing G2 floating group, then hits the prism for its first specular reflection. Next, after 3 total internal reflections inside the prism, a final specular reflection directs it onto the CMOS sensor, making for a total of 5 reflections. Based on middle school physics, optical zoom is essentially about moving lens groups inside to alter the path of light refraction, allowing distant objects to form a sharp image on the sensor. A higher magnification simply means making the light travel a longer path inside. That is why 200mm and 500mm prime lenses are such beasts, and why fitting one into a phone is next to impossible. This periscope telephoto lens reflects a vertical light path to flatten it, making it easy to fit inside a phone's slim body. And this 10x periscope uses 5 reflections, essentially folding the otherwise long light path to achieve a compact size. Folding the light path, we have actually talked about this in previous videos. Besides size, as light travels, you also have stray light to deal with. Traditional lenses use a set of movable metal blades positioned in the middle. It only lets light from the center pass through, physically filtering out stray light at the edges to eliminate flares and ghosts. Applied to OPPO's periscope, the metal blades are replaced by a thin layer of diaphragm coating. Simply put, they coat the cut edges with a ring of ND coating / neutral density coating that absorbs stray light. It still only lets the effective light from the center pass through, and after the second total reflection, it uses the fact that air has far less dispersion than glass. A layer of air is kept within the ND coating, and both sides of this air layer are then coated with anti-reflective coating to fix dispersion, ensuring the light path reaching the CMOS is perfectly pure. Simply put, this air layer is a sandwich structure, anti-reflective coating air, then another layer of AR. Besides requiring extreme precision in polishing and adhesive dispensing, to cram such high precision components into such a compact body, the engineering behind it is truly commendable. A bit convoluted, so feel free to rewind and watch that again if needed. Okay, back to the cameras. Let us lay out the focal lengths of these 4 lenses on a coordinate axis for you all. It is easy to see that after I say on-chip cropping, the range spans from 14mm all to 10x 230mm. The Find X9 Ultra delivers 50-megapixel shots across 6 focal lengths, what we call 8K direct output. This corresponds to the direct output at different zoom levels in its Hasselblad ultra clear mode. Looking at the focal ranges, for those who follow mobile cameras closely, it is one of the few ultra flagships in recent years to nail both focal range coverage and extreme zoom. From a tech exploration standpoint, that is definitely worth some praise. So how does it perform? Let us see. In daytime scenes, the main and medium telephoto cameras from different brands at default 12 megapixels perform pretty similarly. They are all ultras, so it is just a matter of color tuning. The X9 Ultra's overall style leans closer to the colors we see with our own eyes. Zooming out to the 3x telephoto or even the 5 to 8x range after I set cropping, things change. Each has optimized their own algorithmic ranges. They are all at an ultra level of quality. Failing at this common focal length will be unforgivable. But once you hit 10 times and beyond, that is where the X9 Ultra's native quality shines. Take these two shots of distant scenery. Zooming in, the X9 Ultra not only boasts better resolution, but shows no trace of heavy-handed AI. Plus, with better aperture adaptation, notice how the background blur at different distances is superior, making the overall picture feel more harmonious. Besides the three Ultras, here are a few comparisons with X9 Pro at 10 times, and even further using a teleconverter. For lens-wide balance consistency, we took a few shots too. The color tuning between the two telephotos and the main lens is also consistent. Overall, you can really see the value of that native 10 times. For portraits, all three Ultras handle hair detail extraction at basically ceiling level. The difference is OPPO style. This time around, leans more into preserving the subject's look. Look, take these shots of the girls under different lighting. OPPO's rendering of clothing color and texture is best. Similarly, its facial processing is the most subtle, preserving the girl's natural skin texture. This also gives you more flexibility for any post-editing work. At night, its highlight control strategy is also on the conservative side, but with a large main sensor controlling night sky noise. Just take a look. Plus, its handling of complex colors in low light is quite good. There's no obvious sharpening artifact, and visually it all looks pretty natural and smooth. Now for this 10 times telephoto's nighttime performance. A lot of you probably care about this, is also quite good. Compared to the crop-based imaging of the other two, its resolution is in a league own. 4-color reproduction on the edge foliage. Take a look. It is also a bit better compared to the other two. However, with the current version, we did spot some shortcomings. For instance, with these warm-toned night lights, it renders both lights and brick wall a bit cold. Also, with this version, shooting vibrant signs can sometimes cause occasional algorithm glitches. We have reported these issues to our friends at OPPO and look forward to future optimizations. Now let us talk about some of the handy features on the X9 Ultra that really make your shots pop. First up, of course, is Hasselblad Ultra Clear. In our testing with this mode, the X9 Ultra takes about 3 to 5 seconds from shot to final photo computation. You do have to wait a bit, sure, but it is genuinely one of the fastest processors in its class, no question. Compared to standard mode, Hasselblad Ultra Clear's HDR support is pretty much the best in its class. For portraits, it is practically razor sharp, super photogenic. You guys should definitely go and give it a try sometime. And this time, Master Mode adds a bunch of new film styles you can apply directly. From my experience, film styles like Harmony Light, Rich, and Black and White make portrait shots a breeze. The vibe is just totally maxed out. And then there is Expand Mode, which we subjectively feel delivers the best shots versus regular wide mode. The XPAN viewfinder ratio itself expands left and right closer to the human eye's field of view while compressing the top and bottom. It frames the view better, locking onto this entire area in front of you and brings focus to the center. So essentially, it feels much closer to the human eye's aesthetic. Paired with this native 10 times, you get that great telephoto compression effect when shooting portraits too. It blends the subject and background perfectly, yielding great shots often. For video, in Pro mode, the X9 Ultra supports log recording at 4K 120 and 8K 30 frames. You can slow it down with slow motion and import custom 3D LUTs. We shot a few clips ourselves. And yeah, the results are pretty impressive. Plus, this generation also comes with a teleconverter kit. But keep in mind, this big gun only works on the 3 times telephoto lens. After all, you will not need it for 10 times anyway. 4.3 times magnification gives you optical quality equivalent to 300 millimeters, and paired with a professional cage kit, you are maxing out pro vibes. Super pro vibe, but for the teleconverter, a few quick thoughts. At its core, it is really just an accessory that brings some extra value to your phone. In specific scenarios like a concert, it can deliver some seriously impressive results. If its existence leads to compromises or cuts to the phone's core hardware and features, then that kind of defeats the whole purpose, putting the cart before the horse. After all, you have got to buy this thing and carry it around. The essence of mobile photography is about capturing those fleeting, beautiful moments in life. And any accessory that adds extra bulk to a phone's portability will likely be a flash in the pan in the long run. This is not about one brand, it is the whole industry's flaw. Perhaps this explains why this X9 Ultra poured immense effort into fitting that 10 times lens inside its limited body space. Okay, camera wrap up. The Find X9 Ultra sticks to that signature crisp and clear color profile. If you have used their phones before, in other words, it is still very much Hasselblad style. With this new 10 times telephoto paired with dual 200 megapixels and XPAN mode, even at super telephoto, your keeper rate is highly assured. As always, it upholds the standard expected of an OPPO top-tier flagship. For imaging alone, this phone gets a 5 out of 5. Drop your scores in chat. Typically for camera-focused flagships, performance takes a backseat to imaging, so gaming and battery life often fall short. This Find X9 Ultra still aims for balance. The processor is of course the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. And this chip's overall performance is absolutely top. In our database 5.0, the mobile SoC scored 256 for overall performance and 201.3 for combined efficiency, both topping the charts. So how does it perform in practice? First, let us look at 5.0's multi-scenario gaming. The frame rate curve shows great stability. Average FPS hits the 120. Same for Game 4P/P Elite. Elite stability is high, almost a flat line. Averaging 120 FPS compared to the other two Ultras, its frame rate and power consumption are both genuinely better. In open world Genshin Impact, the frame rate matches this year's other new Ultra, but power-wise it is better. 4.8 watts across all three gaming scenarios, the X9 Ultra's frame rate stability stands out, especially when it comes to power consumption control. Pretty outstanding too. In database 5.0's Extreme Honkai style rail, its frame drop timing is later than the other two. Average frame rate, check this out, is also better at 55.8 FPS. So how is the temp rise under this ultra-heavy workload? This device went from 25 degrees Celsius at the start to 45 degrees Celsius in 14.8 minutes, a slower rate compared to the other two as well. However, in this scenario, its overall thermal management is still more aggressive, hitting 47.7 degrees Celsius max. The upside is that under these extreme loads, it gives performance more headroom to shine. So, if you love photography and heavy gaming, it gives you the headroom 100 minutes of continuous play, and the frame rate stays super stable. Average FPS is 120, full power draw at 4.3 watts. For long gaming sessions like this, temperature matters a lot. The X9 Ultra hits 40 degrees Celsius in 32.3 minutes. That is a steady temp, what you will feel during long gaming sessions. The temperature felt by hand is 41.9 degrees Celsius. In fact, over 100 minutes, the max temp was 42.8 degrees Celsius, so overall thermal control is pretty good. Also about that 144 Hz we mentioned for the screen. The benefits in gaming are pretty clear too, with 144 Hz delivering a noticeably smoother experience. Tested Honor of Kings at native 144 Hz plus max graphics. The frame rate curve shows a great experience with the average FPS completely maxed. Power consumption hits 4.8 watts, which is 0.5 watts higher than 120 Hz max graphics, even daily use at these settings. The X9 Ultra handles it without breaking a sweat. So to sum up, the Find X9 Ultra's frame rate stability is solid this time, and its cooling performance for a flagship like this is pretty decent. Overall, for a camera flagship, pulling this off is impressive. And now for the crucial part. For battery, the X9 Ultra packs a 7050 mAh cell this time, something you can definitely compare across. Among all the Ultras, this capacity is definitely on the large side. Our 3-hour multi-scenario database 5.0 test shows, under the combining model, it retains 71% charge, placing it in the upper middle tier. 6-hour heavy use test, we added 2 power-hungry games, and with that, the test is complete. 18% left, extreme endurance test running until the battery dies. The Find X9 Ultra lasted a total of 7 hours 19 minutes, placing mid-high in our database. Overall, the battery life is pretty solid. Even with demanding daily tasks, you can get through a full day no sweat at all. For charging, it has got 100 watts wired. Our lab test at 25 degrees Celsius standard temp, starting from 0 battery. Shutdown plug-in boots instantly. 10 minutes quick charge gets 31%, 43 minutes to 100% on screen, 53 minutes trickle down, fully charged. As for click and swipe smoothness, we ran some tests on that as well this time. The Find X9 Ultra handles 30 apps with an average response time of 105 milliseconds, placing it mid-pack in our database. For in-app responsiveness, the fastest for daily taps is WeChat, 107.5 milliseconds. Douyin Leads in swipe response at 122.3 milliseconds, overall better than the 17 Pro Max. In gaming, Game 4P's tap response is impressive at 21.5 milliseconds for Honor of Kings. It is also quick at 28.6 milliseconds. For swipe response, Game 4P's was fastest at 103.4 milliseconds. For smoothness, the Find X9 Ultra and other flagships perform pretty much on the same level. After seeing it all for the Find X9 Ultra on a scale of 1 to 10, let us all drop our scores in the comments. As a top-tier camera flagship, dual 200-megapixel lenses plus 10 times telephoto, meaning it delivers fantastic shots at all common focal lengths. As for gaming performance, that is something you do not see often. After all, for a phone in this class, its frame rate, stability, power consumption, and cooling are all noteworthy among Ultra models. Plus, its battery is one of the few in this class to hit the 7,000 mAh mark. Personally, I think OPPO's approach to these camera flagships is well thought out, balancing both performance output and the battery life. And it always upholds mobile photography's irreplaceable instant results. Overall, it avoids being too one-sided. In today's trend of increasingly complex ultra flagships, that is a refreshingly thoughtful approach. Okay, if you found this video helpful, do not forget to hit that like button down below for us. All the data featured in this episode has been updated right away in the Whitetalk database mini program. Check it out anytime, anywhere for free, unbiased, real experience. Whitetalk, see you next video.